are my friends. Come along with me, see how the story ends.
That's right.
Welcome back to another episode of Professional Hippies. Hey, we missed you guys, and holy cow, is it good to be back. There's been so much. I mean, I don't know how many episodes we've recorded at this point, regardless of where you're watching this, ingesting this, digesting your earballs, your nose balls, your eyeballs. We've been on a roll, and I think this is just one of the few breaks we've ever had in the tenure of Professional Hippie-ship.
I think the last break was because of massive flooding and a death. So like that was
flooding,
that
major
was
transitions have happened.
Major transitions. Yeah, if we ever go on break, guys, like big things are just like that's got to take a break for a second.
But regardless, we're back in the money. I would dare I say back in the black. Okay. Feels good to be back. And if you're not familiar with our show, we typically host it. We both have cats. They might come on, go rogue a little bit, but typically we'll try to have experts on speaking anything from professional, hey, maybe that might be stocks, bonds, real estate, whatever, to more hippie woo-woo. That could be crystals and what your chakra alignment's all about. Somewhere in the middle, we'll try and meet you. But today is maybe that day. I'm not going to say not that day, but I think you're looking at two brothers who've just missed each other, and I want to give my careless opinion on the state of my personal affairs and the world at large so bad.
Yeah,
I created a podcast that no one asked for.
Yeah,
with my best friend, and here I am to display those thoughts. But hey, if you're looking for an expert, we got other episodes for those.
I wonder how many other COVID podcasts are still running. That started in the core of 2020. That would be a good. I feel like we're doing good still. 5 years.
I think
running
we've outlasted most vices, honestly. I mean, I have started and stopped bad habits in the time that this podcast is.
Usually people go broke by the time they have to end a vice. This one's still going strong, so
for sure. I've three states now.
It's 3 states.
You've
literally moved across the country since we started this thing.
Yeah.
You've bought 2 other homes. Sold 2 other homes.
And let me go ahead and kick off one of the first topics that I'd love to cover for you today. I'd love to fucking sell another.
Hey,
I got a call over the weekend. My tenants, God bless their soul, but they're like, "Hey man, it's really hot." I'm like, "All right, cool.
Oh, no.
What's going on?"
You live in Texas.
Well, no. So, one of my tenants calls me or texts me or whatever, and I call her back. I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" And they're like, "Well, we went to Home Depot. Like, we didn't want to be a bother." Like, that's the biggest red flag. Or when I'm listening, I'm like, "What's going on?" They're like, "Well, we didn't want to bother." I'm like, "So." It feels like when you go to the dentist and you're like, "Well, it's like the problem's not going to fucking go away." It's just the only thing that can happen is it gets worse and more expensive for me. So, long story short, I had to have 3 different technicians come out over the course of 3 different days for the AC unit. This is the part that hurts about not being there because 1, I can't validate if that's a problem. 2, I know the cost. So I had to pay $1,100 to get the AC fixed. And that was a $30 part in cleaning the units for efficiency. So we're feeling the sting of being a lord.
At least you didn't have to buy a new one like we did.
Sure.
We had to buy a whole new unit, and it wasn't like we could fix it.
Yeah.
The people we hire and work with, they had fixed it multiple times, and they literally were like at the final last time. They were like, there's nothing else we could do, man. Like this, you just got to replace it, unfortunately.
Yeah. When stuff like that comes up, like, the first tech comes out, he's like, "Hey, it's going to be $1,200 for a chemical clean." And I was like, "Hey, real quick, can you break down?" I don't want to go too deep on this. There's so many other things I want to talk about, but it just grinds my gears. And I'm like, from your vantage point, explain to me what a chemical clean is. And, they're going on into their pitch. We're salespeople. We get it. I've sold a bunch of shit that people don't need. And my belief was like, they do need this. This is best for them. But I had to call him out. I'm like, dude, like, what is the routine maintenance package for these AC units? He's like, $400. I'm like, what does that mean? What do you do? And they check all the levels and stuff. But I'm like, cleaning the little radiator fins, like, what happens?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, well, we wash them down. I'm like, do you take the panels off to service them? He's like, no. Like, so in layman's terms, if I'm tracking, you take my garden hose and you just run it on the outside of the AC units, right?
All right. Let's give it that old, like, take the pot out, blow it off, throw it back in.
It felt like corporate speak for the blue collar worker. They're trying to fancy shit up. And I'm like,
yeah.
You're just taking my garden hose and just running on the outside of the units,
Using
right?
my water to fix this.
But for the $1,200, you'll take the panels off and then spray a $20 can of chemical cleaner from Home Depot on the inside, right? So fuck me. But anyway, we got where we need to go. I called another guy. I was like, hey, do you work for a company or is this your company? He's like, it's my company. I go, how about $300? He's like, sold. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
that using the garden hose reminded me of my last year, or was it 8th grade, 9th grade? I don't know. Sometime in high school, one of the grades. I wanted to take this girl to our version of prom, but I couldn't afford it.
Version of prom.
It was, we called it formal, right? So we didn't dance or anything. It was just like an award dinner and award ceremony for sports.
Okay.
And like some like
lot of room for Jesus.
A lot of Bibles could fit in between us, right? So they sure the place wasn't scrunched up at the tables. They really made sure there was enough room to space everyone out. So we had to buy our own ticket to go to these things, right? To pay to go to the formal and stuff. So my parents didn't want to give me any money for it. So I was like, all right, well, I want to get flowers and all that nice stuff. So I'm going to go around the neighborhood with a bucket, and I put some Dawn soap in it and a sponge. I just went door to door like, hey, this is what I want to do. Here's my spiel.
Yeah.
I need to afford this. I want to wash your car for like $25 or something, whatever. And this guy had like a really nice, like 1980s Chevy in his truck, right? In his car, right? House. And I went and knocked on the door. I was like, hey man, I'm sure you don't want me to wash this, but can I wash one of your other cars? And he was like, so you want to charge me $25 and you're going to use my water to my house to do it? And I go, oh man, I'm sorry, dude. Well, if you want to be an investor, if you want to give me $15,000, I'll go ahead and go get that water truck and I'll bring it over here for you and we can start a company together. And he just started laughing. He goes, for that, I'll let you wash my truck. He was like, that was a good response to that. But I was like, yeah, man, this is your water I'm going to use to wash your car for 20. It was just so funny. And then, of course, I actually didn't know about this. Same truck, too. He had tinted windows, so I used Dawn soap on the tinted windows. You're not supposed to. And he was like, so you're using Dawn on my I was like, what are you talking about? And he goes, oh, just so you know, you're not supposed to do that. Like, it affects them. And I was like, I'm just a high schooler dude trying to charge to make some money.
How does it affect them? Tints on the inside.
I have no clue. I have no clue what that meant or how or what. I looked it up somewhere. It did affect them, though, somehow. But
yeah, if it's on the inside, were you washing the inside?
No, it's just the outside. So,
okay.
I don't know. I don't know why he told me that. Maybe he thought I was washing the inside.
Yeah.
Like maybe he thought I was scrubbing the inside of the windows too, just to wipe them down.
Right.
Maybe. And maybe that's what it was.
I could see that.
Long story short, I went to another house too. He had a tree company. I told the husband what I was doing it for, and he had a huge jacked up F-350. Started cleaning the truck. He obviously told his wife what I was doing, and the wife come running out, and it was like, "Here's $100. I wish he did this for me at formal."
Aww.
I was like, "Yeah."
That's the shit that like. Once you get old enough, you realize, because I played the shit out of the college student Cutco thing, when I was doing direct sales. It's like, help out the college kid. There's a window for that, middle school, high school, college.
I'm playing the new guy card with the new company, you have a window with the new guy card, and it's cool because once you've got experience in sales, you know how to play the new guy card.
Right.
Right. It's now when I first started, I didn't know how to that's a thing. But once you're you got the new guy card, people want to help you when you're being upfront about it.
It's like same skills, different opportunity to deploy skills.
Correct. And it's like when they know that, it's almost like when the owners know that you're playing that card, you know sales and how to take care of them. But like, hey man, I'm new to the industry. I'm just trying to learn this. Like, help me help you get these situations.
Sales is universal and it's respected the same. Anybody that's had to go through stuff, like even you telling me about like having to do that stuff, it's giving me flashbacks. It's like there's an understanding when you've done a bunch of shit that people don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what it takes to step outside your comfort zone and go door to door doing that. Like
that's why one of the few areas I think AI is going to have trouble with, you know, is literal sales. A lot of people thought it would be the first, and to me, I don't, even cars sales, I don't think it'll be hard to touch, because you need, for one, the business side, you need someone to be go-getter, like you need someone to drive the product, and the AI is not really going to do that, because as soon as someone hears AI on the other end, click, turn that off. But like a relationship building, you can't, I mean, technically you can't build relationships with AIs these days, but like there's not going to be that person that you can call, you know, you have a good information with, build that trust with.
I really think it's just going to go a little bit backwards as far as touch points, like letters, voicemails, you know, video bombs. Where
Pick up the phone and call. That's such, like, just picking up the phone and calling these days.
Like calling, so that's the tough part, right? Because of all like the data bots, the scraping tools, etc. Getting the call through is kind of a bitch. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Just depending on what type of sales and, you know, what type of outreach you're doing, I think calls will get squeezed along with emails. I think that's where you'll see the biggest squeeze. And if you want to get creative and send handwritten notes, you know, thoughtful text messages and things like that, where it's just showing like, hey, you care. Where I think it'll really make the biggest impact is like customer service. You know,
you're right. I think that's where it's going to matter most, because you have an issue with an order, right? And you're trying to do it over email. Just pick up the phone and get it worked out.
Yeah.
It's so much better, easier. And I feel like too, when you do that, even business owners appreciate that, because they're like, thank you for just calling and figuring it out. Like everyone wants to do email, you know, and get through that.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, like freeing time up. Like think about 3 years from now, that's going to be exponential how much better AI is going to get. So if I had an issue, like I think with my credit card the other day, I had an issue with something, getting it on the app, it says it's signed up, but it's not, it's, you know, some bullshit, right? And I had to go through all these prompts, and it's like, I don't know if you've ever called Apple customer service before. They've had full sentence AI for like 5 or 6 years, where it's like, hey, just tell me your problem. I'll try and get you the right person. You speak a full sentence, and it understood it like it was mind-blowing. So I think that's where you'll really see the biggest help, is just not having to drone through a bunch of prompts and waiting and like the waiting time and all that shit. Like 3 years from now, I think customer service centers are going to be replaced instead of like call centers, just AI.
There's some, I've called call centers though, and I've had unique problems, right? Where I'm like, you're not going to, and it's like, hey, why don't you explain the problem? And I go, fine. And I'll start explaining it, like the detail of what's going on. And they go, let me just get you to somebody. I go, that's
where it makes sense to have someone that can help. Right.
I saw a comment though where someone was kind of making fun of AI. They were trying to call CVS and trying to get through to talk to someone at CVS, but it was using AI, and it was like going in the loop. And someone in the comments said, if you start talking in a mental disability voice, it transfers you immediately.
That's kind of genius.
I was like, someone else commented, I tried it, can't confirm. It transferred me immediately.
That's kind of genius.
I go, ooh, I'm going to try that at some point.
I think that, you know, the thing that comes up for me around AI though is learning it. Like, I don't want to stay on the bleeding edge, but right now I'm using AI as a hammer. Like, I don't deploy it as a saw, you know, or a drill. Everything right now is a nail, and there's a lot of good useful cases. I mean, for what I'm doing, just on a regular basis. It's like, could it help me cut down on emails? Could it help with some other stuff? Like, I don't need a lot, but I know I'm just not using it the way I could be using it.
The thing with that though is I looked up emails and I was like, hey, I need to use an email for this. And I go, but what if I'm at this company? How would you word it? And it writes it the same way, right? So your competition, if they're using it. So I'll throw in misspelled words and stuff sometimes just to make it sound like if I was using it. But when it came to emails, I would try to write my own because everyone's doing it. But where I've used it is, I don't know, making a Facebook yard sale post. Like, hey, I said, make a yard sale post, but it's talking like a pirate.
Mm-hmm.
And it made a whole thing and puts it out there. And it drove more people than normal probably because people were like, oh, I saw your post. It was like a pirate. I was like, yeah, I'm creative.
Well, so let me give you a little bit better example. Like have you seen the stuff about having an AI agent that like OpenAI just rolled out?
Mm-mm.
It's kind of like a crude version of an assistant. So that I'm speaking more to not work in the sense of like doing prospecting or outreach, but just having like a personal assistant, you know? Like if you had one email that you got a day where your AI sent you an email and was like, hey, here's what you need to take care of. Here's what I already did for you. So it's like, I unsubscribed you from these spams. You know, this person outreached about this. And yeah, so there's just, that is more of what I'm talking about, where like you can also tell your assistant like, hey, I want to be in touch with my mom more. Can you make sure that I'm sending her at least 3 or 4, you know, really unique, lovely texts, or my wife, etc., a week? And can you give me some generated prompts as well to go along with that to spark that? So like you can have these useful cases where it's just like having a personal assistant more than anything. Yeah. I think that's what would be helpful for me at this current junction in life.
If you ask somebody that ran a business in the 50s, would they be like, you know, looking at today and looking at the 50s, like, would you prefer having something like AI today, or would you prefer that secretary that you had in the 50s? Which one are you going with?
I can't believe humanity's got as much done as we have up to this point. Just think about how horribly inefficient running a business in the 50s would be.
Actually, it was probably pretty efficient back then, right? Because if you have everything's done by paper, right? Mm-hmm. So you know where that paper is, it's in this file, right? Mm-hmm. And then you're picking up and calling people. You're not doing an email, so it's not like it gets lost in the sauce. You have to pick up the phone to get something done.
Yeah.
I think that's why a lot of people complain these days, like especially older business owners, because they're like, we used to get things done. You know, yeah, it's technically more efficient if you. I think what I've heard them say is it's more efficient if everyone used like what we have the right way.
Back to my point of using AI the right way.
Yeah. Yep. Full circle there. And so like, but back then you're paying someone and you're like, hey, get this done for me. Boom, they go get it done. They didn't get it done. You just let them go. You find someone that can get it done.
Well, that's the argument against 5-day work week. So there's the feeling of inefficiency or efficiency, and then there's just the data. I mean, like, no way around it. We make more shit. We do more things than any point in humanity. But the feeling of getting stuff done, you know, like compared to the 50s, 60s, or even like the 70s, right? Where you had like, I think the easiest example would be Disney, the way they used to animate movies. I mean, that was like thousands of workers hand drawing, you know, one scene.
You see, they're going back to that, they said?
No way.
They're going back to hand drawn.
I think shot.
For one movie, I think they're doing it. They said they're going
to.
One movie they're going to do it, but they're going to do it. I saw them posting about it. For one, it's probably going to be a short thing too. It's probably like a 20 minute.
Netflix is rolling out some AI animated shorts. They're going to start mixing it in.
That's disappointing because that, like, if you see some of the stuff, like the short stuff that these animation companies have been creating. I mean, have you ever seen Secret Level on Amazon?
Mm-mm.
Dude, have you watched Sex, Love, and Robots on Netflix?
Yeah.
Okay. Think of that type of animation where different studios create different stuff, right? But Secret Level, it takes the concept of a video, like our classic video games, and makes a episode about it. But like, it's not the actual video game. It's like the concept of how that video game works and then makes an episode about it. It's so cool how they do it. I mean, Keanu Reeves is in one episode. Like, there's some big names in it.
Say that name one more time.
Secret Level.
No, the actor.
Is it Keanu Reeves?
Yeah. Have you heard of the dead internet theory?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, fuck me.
I mean, explain it to our listeners.
It does feel like that's just where we're heading. Like, all right. So for anyone that's not familiar, I did look it up. So the dead internet theory is a conspiracy theory that asserts due to a coordinated and intentional effort, the internet now consists mainly of bot activity and automatically generated content manipulated by algorithmic curation to control the population and minimize organic human activity. The dead internet theory has gained traction because of the observed phenomena are quantifiable, such as increased bot traffic, but the literature on the subject does not support the full theory. It's also kind of one of those things where you think about, like, the more we deploy efficient measures for creativity, especially, the more you're going to have this squeeze on regurgitating the same shit. But that could be a glass ceiling. That's one thing we've always thought that humans would have that robots don't, is the creative ability. Us thinking we're special, creative, souls that have conscience and an essence that can't be bottled up, right?
Yeah.
Really curious to see what happens when AI gets to a point where it's pretty fucking original. What do we do then?
That's what I was talking about a while ago when we were talking about this. Is it's just going to get into a loop because it's all what you create and feed back into it. And I remember thinking about that when AI first came out. I go, is it the concept though? It feeds off of what's put into it, and eventually it just starts like folding in on itself in a way.
Well, I mean, let's take it from the professional hippie perspective. So they were curious how many, based on what we currently know, how many theoretical psychedelic compounds are there? And this was Google's AI that put out like 10,000 potential psychedelic compounds that haven't even been explored, let's say discovered, until recently. So I think there's an argument to be made for what is original, because most of what we devour as consumers is just repackaged bullshit, whether it's literature or material goods. Like, I don't know.
Let's talk about that in the real world essence, though. I brought this up to you a while back. Has the concept of be here now kind of turned things negatively?
As in, you don't want to be here now?
No, what I mean is, like, it kind of started coming around, what was it, the 70s, 80s? Psychedelics, be here now, enjoy now, that concept.
Tune in, drop out.
Tune in, drop out, be here now, enjoy the moment that you're in, right? Don't focus on the past, be here now, enjoy what you have, right?
Yep.
And so a lot of people spend their money and do things, and that concept just drove itself. But now, and that was, I guess, what we would consider like a boomer mentality when it first was created. It was around their time. Be here now, enjoy your own self. And as they carried on, they never cared about the future, right? So they never cared about like what their kids were going to need or how things are going to set up. And so because of that, it's really hard for like the next generations to really let's look at real estate, that concept, right? The people bought a home for super cheap back then, and then over decisions that have been made to really focus on now, be here now, it's drove the price up of the value of their homes. But now that same concept isn't happening for us in these generations, right? Everyone's so focused on just them and themselves now, be here now, but there's never focus on how can we make the economy better for the future? How can we make the economy better for things going forward? Or even, let's say, being green or something, right? Like how can we make it better for them? And I would say that even kind of goes into the being green part, is like everyone thinks about recycling, but they're thinking of recycling now. Like, how can we make things better now? How can we do things now? Instead of like, yeah, if we do this now, it could work, but like 20 years down the road, it's still going to be a problem in a way, right? So I'm I've wondered if, like, because a lot of millennials, let's say, blame, for whatever reason, they blame boomers on the way things are, that they can't move up economically because they're still stuck here, like they're holding and retaining everything. And so I always wondered, like, it's a concept I wonder if, like, it's definitely in the hippie world, be here now, enjoy the moment. And that concept is bleeded out too much, instead of like, hey, be here now, but also like be in the future, like prep for that. And so I wonder if that, like, at first it sounded great and it sounded like that worked, right? Because probably in the 50s and 60s, everyone kept like, what am I going to do for the future? I got to prepare for the kids. I'm worried about the past. A war's going to happen. Da, da, da. And that concept of like, be here now, probably worked great back then. When you think about it, everything that was going on. And so now that we've gotten to this point, it's collapsed in on itself. And now that concept that everyone has, be here now, hasn't carried on. I don't know. I might be just thinking too much about it, but it's just something that popped in my head about
how
the state
often
of
are
everything.
you thinking about that?
Not that often, but like sometimes when I see things where they're like, oh, if we would have took care of this 10 years ago, for like economically, we would have done this, it would have been fine. And it's like, yeah, because that decision was made because they wanted to take care of themselves at the time, which isn't selfish. It's like, hey, I have to take care of myself at the moment. But
to your point, like our national debt's a pretty good example of be here now. And that's going to be a real fucking problem in about...
That problem doesn't go away. It
7
keeps
years.
happening, right? But they're like, let's take care of ourselves now. And so I feel like the concept of be here now, like there was always, like, even in the government, it even felt like, hey, we got to like do things to, like, the country has to still maintain. So we got to do things in the future. But like when the be here now concept started, it was a big boost at first, but over time it's like slowly gone down as a good one.
I mean, it just depends on how much that's adopted, as like anything that's driving policy or people's decision making at large. I think humans...
Stock market, we have to make sure every day we're getting a boost. Be here now. Be here now with the market.
Well, if you're not green and growing, you're dying. You don't want to deal with... You don't want too much inflation. You don't want stagflation.
But if we're making decisions now for the business to look good, so we get a spike by next quarter, is that still a good business decision for 5 years down the road when the business still needs to be here? Like, I've definitely seen business decisions where they've made boosts just because they made a decision that only helped for that year or that quarter, and then the CEO leaves because he's like, I know what's coming because I made that decision. I'm getting out of here because it helped me profit, and then he knows down the road that's going to hurt him.
So, yeah, if left unchecked, I did hit that one kind of on the head there. By 2030, if we continue the same rate of overspending that we've done up to this point, our debt could exceed 45 to 50 trillion. Interest alone to service that would be 2.5 trillion annually. That would outcrowd funding for Medicare, defense, and infrastructure. Wow, what a fucking pickle be here now has gotten us into, huh?
What, like, if we weren't just here now, we were actually thinking about the future, they would make weed legal, take the tax, put it towards the debt.
I'm kind of blown away. Again, I don't really have a political party affiliation, but both sides, I'm so impressed to their ability to kick the can, especially on really major issues. Because it's so difficult to figure out who to point the finger at. People love to hunt for the president. It takes a fucking village.
Texas was interesting recently. Their whole thing that they went through very recently.
The flood?
No, that was interesting. But they continued to make weed illegal.
Yeah.
But then the governor pushed back and said, no, like, we need to reevaluate that really quickly. And the attorney general for Texas was like, I guess we'll look at it.
Yeah.
He's obviously, I think they looked into it. He's getting a ton of money from pharmaceutical, but he was like, nope, we're not going to do it. And then the governor put his foot in and was like, no, that's stupid. We have to reevaluate this.
Yeah.
I guess the governor of Texas has been really good about being pretty open-minded about things lately.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't tell you why. It is who's more powerful? Like what driving force is most powerful in America right now? Is it the pharmaceutical industry? Is it organized religion? Driving the agenda.
I think both. I feel like both are getting pushed in, for sure. I think both are getting pushed in on each other because one for religion, especially, but like the pharmaceutical, I don't think it's being pushed in as heavy as religion is, but we're starting to see it. I think. Because people are starting to be like, the Oxy thing came out, right? That whole thing came out. And then the thing with the vaccines slowly is coming out a little bit more. And then people are also recognizing the list of problems that are on these medicines when they're doing the commercials are getting longer and longer and longer,
Mm-hmm.
So people, I think, are becoming more aware and like, I don't want to take that. That sounds like that's going to be more of a problem. And I think what's happening is a lot of the older people that the pharmaceutical companies have been able to rely on are dying off now. And these younger generations that have actually lived healthier, they've tried to live healthier lives and kind of see what's happening. I think they're seeing what's coming down the pipeline and they're going to start losing funds. We just haven't seen that yet because they're still
is that our echo chamber? Because at the same time, isn't America more fat than we've ever been? That might just be the people we hang out with, man.
I think America's as fat as it's ever been, but I also see like a push pretty hard. I think after COVID, for sure, there was a lot more people. Like Jim's definitely got a huge boost. Now, does that continue? I don't know, but I mean, there's a lot more things on social media now too.
Like being conscious and aware.
Just being a little bit more conscious instead of like grabbing everything in the food aisle, right? At least people are starting to turn around the box.
Well, the accessibility to information, like that was the thing before COVID hit. I had so much faith in, I don't know, the world at large. That's like, you can't get one on over us. Like people are skeptical of the government. It's like genocide wouldn't happen because we all have access to phones. And then something like COVID happens and you realize like, no, I mean, people will still bow down if they believe in their hearts. Like, no, I'm on the right side of history. People will do whatever. And where has been the mention of like, hey guys, we got it wrong on COVID?
Oh, that's never coming.
Like, to what degree does that need to be recognized? I'm not really sure, nor do I really care. But like, isn't that kind of odd how much propaganda there was? Like, you're a bad person if you don't get vaccinated, to where, all right, well, actually, there's a lot of empirical data that points to
I think that even goes into going back to the food, and health. Like, how can we believe a lot of the health organizations and stuff after all of this,
Right.
And the other thing to it too is other countries' food is way better quality. So if we are letting in all of these other immigrants and non-immigrants as well, they're also coming in and being like, this food is dog shit over here. And then telling other Americans like, no, this is not good. Like, you should shop at these markets because there are international markets that are growing like big. I mean, there's a huge one over here in North Tampa that's like, it caters to the India folk, but like you go in there, there's food from all over the world over there and they transport it in, right? It's better quality stuff for sure in there. And you're starting to see international.
I'm just picturing someone coming over the border illegally. It's because I thought you were going a totally different direction with that, and just watching someone come over to the United States illegally. I mean, like, man, your food sucks.
Imagine a Mexican coming over the border and he hits like the first taco shop and he's like, he just walks up to ICE. He's like, take me back. I can't do it.
We were in Mexico a couple of weeks ago, and being stupid Americans, there were certain foods we were craving. And that's actually one of the things Abby and I were talking about. It's like, God bless America. We have all the foods. Whatever.
Got them all.
If you're in a major city, you're hard pressed not to at least have access to about any type of demographic food representation, however you'd want to frame that, right? Like maybe there's not the best Indian food in the world in Tampa, Florida, but I can think off the top of my head of at least 4 or 5 places that have pretty authentic Indian food.
I would say that was definitely something I noticed in Bulgaria too. Was like that. It was actually one of the main things I noticed was like there wasn't every nationality's types of food, or if there was, I would ask other Bulgarians like, "Hey, what do you think?" They're like, "No, it is a pizza place, but I wouldn't go to that pizza place." You know,
right. Well, you mentioned you went to like one restaurant, right? And they had like everything.
So that's the thing. There's not like type of national restaurants. You go to a restaurant, they have like sushi, they have Italian, they have and it's not like very like crazy dishes. It was very like your typical Italian dish or like your typical sushi pairs, and they were good, right? Because that's pretty basic things. But then you go to, you ask the locals about some type of like, oh, is that a good Chinese shop? And they're like, no, that wouldn't go to that, type of, or for example, I ordered frozen. I asked locals about frozen pizza. And they were like, do not buy a frozen pizza here, right? They are awful. And so I was like, I have to try. Yeah. So I went and bought there was 2 options of frozen pizzas. It was like healthy and non-healthy frozen pizzas. So I was like, I'll get the non-healthy, of course. So I get that, and it tasted like cardboard. It was really awful. Yeah, it was. They were all right. So I was like, I want to like get a cooler and buy a bunch of frozen pizzas and put, whatever that ice is that stays cold. So you put that in there and take it to Bulgaria and have a frozen pizza party with everyone and be like, here's DiGiorno's, here's this one, here's that one, to be like, here's what good frozen pizza is like.
Yeah, that was our big thing is like, I think Abby was craving, what you call it, white girl queso. Everywhere had queso fundido. And it just, it's not Tex-Mex queso or the chicken fingers or chicken tenders.
That's what you were getting was the authentic stuff. But they changed things to kind of alter to the American, probably more sugar in it.
I think it's very difficult to take real cheese and apply it to a lot of different things, like to pour real cheese onto a hot dog or nachos. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's not, you need it in a real liquid state. Smooth things over.
Get it done. Down the gullet.
But that was ironically, I wrote down Mexico next to my 4-legged goose, and
I just remember coming back from when we were coming back from the 4 Seasons in Mexico for the company trip, and the cab driver, I was like, yeah, man, I feel like there wasn't, I went to all these places and I saw the checkpoint stops around the resorts area that the police had, so they'd stop people. I go, I'm surprised I didn't see many cartel. I saw one cartel because he called me over, asked if I wanted anything, but that was it. And he goes, oh no, they were everywhere, buddy. Like, don't you worry. They might not have said much to you, but trust me, they know you were there.
We did a tequila tasting, and boy, did we enjoy
We did too. Isn't that good? Holy cow!
Where did you go when you went to Mexico?
It's not Cozumel. It's the other one.
Cabo?
No. It's the other big one. Cancun. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We went to Cancun and we did a tequila tasting at the 4 Seasons there.
Yeah. So we did horseback riding to tequila tasting. And so when you sign up or whatever, you get there and they're like, hey, 3 different types of horses, which I didn't totally understand. Or no, 3 different levels. So you write if you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced rider. And I grew up around horses, and I'm looking around, I'm seeing everybody put beginner. And I was like, I'll just do intermediate. And
that's probably what I would do. Yeah,
I was the only one out of like a group of 18 or whatever, or a dozen. I don't remember how many other it was that put intermediate. And so one of the first people they give a horse to, and the guy's like, this is your horse's name, whatever he says. And I'm like, spell that out for me. Because there was a couple rules. One, you couldn't like run with your horse or whatever. So anyway, me and Contra were getting friendly. And I'm like, why? We're riding along. And after a while, I realized, I'm like, why does it matter? I can't trot with my horse. I can't, get down on it.
Oh, it matters.
So, but I'm wondering, like, why wouldn't... What is different about this tour, whether I have an intermediate, advanced, or beginner. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm getting at. And so Concho's being a little bit of a fucking asshole at the beginning of this ride. He's leaning back, trying to nibble at my kneecaps a little bit, wanting to stop here. And the guy told me, the tour guide at the very beginning, he was like, hey, when we get to that lake bed, he's going to want to try and lay down. And so just beware. Really quickly in this ride, I let Concho know, hey, man, we're going to have a great time. You were such a good boy. But if you try and bite me, that bit is going to the back of your throat because that's not cool, dude. So we had to come to Jesus moment really early on. Concho's a great boy after that. We get to the riverbed, didn't try my ass one time. And then I realized on this tequila tasting, if you really know how to ride a horse, they probably just have horses that are more green, that need to be more broke in for other riders.
100%. That's where my mind went, was like, oh, if they want someone, if someone's like, oh, I train, they're like, good, we got this horse that we need to like help with.
Yeah. So I didn't mind that, but I was like, I'm basically free training for your horse, but that was cool.
They kind of asked that when we did a dune buggy ride when we were in Mexico.
How was that?
It was awesome. It was those like really big ones too.
Yeah.
Like the big nice dune buggies. And it was kind of interesting when we got there. There was also 4-wheelers. I was like, no, I don't want 4-wheelers. I'm going on these. And so he gave us the list of rules, right? Like, don't drift, don't do this, and don't do that. And I'm like, I'm breaking all of those rules. So he goes, who's riding before? And I was like, 100%, I've done this. So I was lucky enough to get right behind the leader, right? Because if you're in the back, you go slow because it sucks. Yeah. I was like, I got to make sure I was like in front. So they were like, all right, go pick your cart. And I immediately picked the front one. Yeah. So I let him take off a little bit just so he could be out of sight and know we're on the trail. Mm-hmm. And dude, I'm like drifting around these quarters. I know he sees me doing it. I 100% knows he sees me doing it. And I'm just hitting these banks. It's so fun. And I know we're getting close to being at the end of the run and getting back to the camp where we had everything, because he stopped everybody. And he comes up to only my cart and he goes, you got to stop that. Because you can't be drifting around the corners like that, dude. He goes, I can see you know what you're doing. Just stop. I was like, okay. And sure enough, like 2 more turns and we were at the camp. I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, I looked into renting that. I think it was like, I don't know, $500 for 3 hours or $800 for the day. And I was like,
awesome too, because you were in BFE, son.
I know. We did that in Sedona and it was epic. My only thing is we didn't take out travel insurance before we went. And I was like, God forbid if I roll the thing and one of us gets hurt.
It was better than Vegas. I thought it was better than Vegas.
Vegas
at least
sucked.
Vegas sucked. Their dune buggy system out there sucked ass.
They made you put your hands in those stupid ropes. You didn't even have the chance to break your own arm if you wanted to roll the fucker.
That's what I wanted. Yeah, I was like, I want to roll this thing. This is
I want to feel something at the end of the day.
That was the whole point of the trip. Was just I want everyone to feel something on this trip, guys.
So I looked up the dune buggy thing because there was trails and we wanted, Abby brought up going to Sayulita. So I rented a Jeep for the day. I mean, if you're looking to feel the thrill of coming down a mountain with a vehicle that basically has shot out CV joints. I mean, at any moment, those tie rods were going to blow out of this Jeep, dude. I'm doing 60 miles an hour. And then, do you remember the old Tacomas? You know, you get about 45 miles an hour and that thing started rattling like a death box. That's what it felt like. I was like, nice. Just, I'm like, oh,
yeah, baby,
kill us.
It's like shaking. You do the slow turn to happy instead of the smile.
Yeah. She was trying to talk to me about something. I was like, hey, just so you know, I paid $200 for the day for this, and it's taking my full concentration to keep us on the road right now.
You got practice with Minnie Winnie.
I said that exact same thing because Minnie, it was about a 2-inch play before the wheels would engage in any direction. I don't know if that's 2 inches, maybe 1.5 inches. I don't know, whatever. It was about 0.5 inch to 1 inch on this one, where it's just like a little bit, So the whole time you're kind of doing this butter churning. Or milking the teat of a cow. You're just kind of going along. I was like, I've got good training in here. After the drives that we've done especially in that RV. One, I now can drive distances that I never thought was possible in like one go, where it's just like an 18-hour trip I used to look at as like, that's 2 days. Like you'd want to break that up in 2 days. Now I look at that and I'm like, oh, it's going to be a long day.
Yeah. That's how I felt coming back from Bonnaroo. People would be like, oh, we got to go to Tennessee. Oh, that's 2 days. And I'd be like, no, it's not. No, it's not.
No. It sucks, but we can get it done.
We're not going to have a good time. About halfway through, we're going to wish we didn't do it. But now we're halfway. So we're going to keep going.
Dude, for a second, can we talk about the state of affairs for music festivals in general this year? What, Bonnaroo gets rained out, Secret Dreams, Tomorrowland stage burns down. Which one am I missing here?
Ultra got rained.
Ultra got rained.
Yeah.
EDC Vegas appears to be unscathed, but hold on. One of the nights, extreme winds, so they did have to push that back one of the nights. But the least affected out of all of them, I would say.
I'd say out of those, yeah. Well, the least affected, yeah, I don't know. Tomorrowland did a really good job. I really liked what they did.
Turned a negative into a positive. I mean,
huge positive.
If Bonnaroo gave out boogie boards, that was the equivalent of what Tomorrowland just
and
pulled
Tomorrowland
off.
has like 6 other stages that could be main
Excuse
stages
you?
anywhere.
Oh, okay. I was going to say,
like,
they have, I think, 15 stages total.
Well, they have 15 stages, but they have like 6 that could be
Proper.
main stage level.
Yeah.
At any of these other
Can
places.
probably handle the overflow, you think?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But for what they did, though, was pretty cool. And Metallica stepped in and helped out with that, too. Though I haven't seen any Metallica edits. I'm kind of upset about that since that came out. But that's all right.
I know Ozzy died today. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Ozzy.
And
he did that incredible concert.
What a way to go out.
What a way.
What a guy.
What a way. I'm going to watch the Osbourne show. Just to catch
that just makes me be a degenerate so bad, just to honor his legacy. It's like that man deserves a bender.
That man, I hope he was bendering, and that was why he died. I hope that was he was like, give me one more. Shannon, give me one more. Shannon, give me one more.
I know it'll fucking kill me, Shannon.
Shannon, if that was my last show, give me another one.
God, that guy just went hard in the paint for no reason and made a killing living off of it.
And how he, for no reason, I mean, if there's ever a study of what the body can handle, like that, it's it right there.
Remarkable. 76.
Remarkable.
What took him out, by the way? Do we know?
Parkinson's.
Okay, so that was coming on. That was the idea behind the concert is, hey, we know.
Yeah, that's why he wanted to stand. He tried to stand up several times during the concert, and he just couldn't. Like it just wouldn't allow him.
While he's lucid, while he has mobility, let's do a concert.
Let's do one more. And he did it where he first started too. So that was the thing too. It was like, and he took all the money and he took every profit that came from that and donated it too. So then they had all the big artists, come out and do the show too, which was super cool.
Yeah, that artist that did a tribute to him, Youngblood, is that his name?
Youngblood, yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, he did pretty good. I liked it. You should see the chain he got for him after the show.
I did see that.
Cool.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talked about this before we got on the air here. I think rock is back.
I think rock's coming back. I think it's always been here.
It's always been. But I mean, I'm not going to kid myself. It's always been. But
there's definitely some mainstream happening a lot more now,
Yeah, the video I showed you before from Falling in Reverse. Oh, man, that's been amazing. And there's this other masked band. Can't think of the name right now. Evan would kill me. There's just some sick talent coming out. And I'm looking for this beautiful intersection of rock and EDM because I can't wrap my head around if you are into bass music, bass gets really heavy, really scratchy. You would probably like rock.
That's why Sullivan King's so big.
Yeah.
That's why Sullivan King is so big.
Yeah.
He saw the market. He's like, oh, the bass people are the same as the hard rock people. Same mindset.
Why is there not? I mean, you have Keizo, Sullivan King, I think you could make an argument for sudden death, but really that's kind of those two are leading the pack. It's like you would think there would be a really big kind of genre blend.
Mm-hmm.
I think in general music is doing an incredible job. You see like hip hop artists going to country, EDM guys doing collabs with rock guys, and rock getting into fucking whatever else. But I think there's kind of this like coalescence happening in general of like genre blending and people hopping.
I think too, it's a lot of these artists are not letting, I don't know, whoever their agent is or whatever, controlling them, right? Yeah. So the agents or whoever the producers are like, you have to create hip hop, keep coming out with those hits. So if they're controlling their own genre, they can be like, all right, that was cool, I made that. I'm gonna go try this out now and see what happens. All right, I tried it. It was cool, didn't work out, so I'm gonna go back over to here. Still got to make money, got to come back over here.
That like the record companies being in control.
There it is, record companies, yeah.
Well, that like back to the dead internet theory. There's a band that I think has 60 or 600,000 monthly listeners on Spotify right now. That's AI, and
that's crazy.
I listen to their shit. It's actually pretty good. Like if you think of, let's say, like the Eagles mixed with like maybe the Peppers, a little U2 kind of vibe. It's just kind of like kind of chill. See, I can't.
Well, that was also one of the reasons I thought I didn't like everyone gave shit to Greta Von Fleet. They're like, oh, they sound like
giving shit to them.
A lot of people just didn't like because they thought they sounded like. Man, I am blanking today on so much.
Like, I mean, a lot of the old, like, Sex Pistols kind of...
No, it's like one particular artist, and I can't remember the name. Crap, it's another 80s rock band. It's literally the most famous. Nope. Now, I gotta fucking... There's no way I'm gonna let myself forget this. I can't believe I want to hurt myself for...
The Velvet Sundown is not the band you're thinking of, but it is the band I was referencing.
Led Zeppelin.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
For sure.
A lot of people are like, oh, they're just a Led Zeppelin. No, it's like, who gives a shit? They sound good. Who cares? They're playing good. Also, they're super young, and they're this popular already with good music.
I don't get the hate. I never get the hate when it comes to that. Oh, excuse me. The Velvet Sundown is currently up to 1.4. Let's round up to 1.5. They're close enough. 1.5 million monthly listeners.
The Velvet Sunset? That sounds
The Velvet Sundown.
The Velvet Sundown.
That's actually really good. I think of it, I would be super inclined to take a tab and listen to their album. Because it'd be super trippy to be like, oh man, this is like great kind of Pink Floyd-ish, Eagles, I'm giving you a lot of different references, but like just chill, vibe. Or maybe have some beers during the cookout.
They put out 3 albums.
Yeah. Oh, and then you're just thinking to yourself, you go, am I listening to the pinnacle of humanity? Like when the rover touched down on the moon, if that made a sound compressed into an album, is this the pinnacle of humanity that I have an opportunity to listen to evolution through my ears happen in real time?
See, AI can't create and sell an album like that, like you just did. So, I mean, like, if someone told me that and came up to me and was like, told me that, I'd be like, where's your house? We're going there right now to listen to this. Like,
dude, on one of those super over-the-top sound systems, you like put the sunglasses on, it blows you back into the Lazy Boy
immediately. He goes, actually, just sit down right here. I've got I've got it right here set up. Dude,
you walk into someone's house, they're like, what's your height? How much you weigh? All right, let me adjust the chair for you real quick.
Adjust it. They're like, where's your bed? I sleep in this chair.
They take a look at you. Are you okay if I just cut that hair around your ear? This is going to enhance the experience.
Let me go ahead. Here, now, I want to put glasses on. Here's your beverage.
Mind if I get them nose hairs? Actually, you have receptors in your nose. We need to open it.
Starts trimming your beard. Actually, come over to the wardrobe department real fast.
Sir, I need you to shave. When the last time you shaved your asshole? Let's go ahead and take care of that, right? Don't want to blown out chili ring. Listen to the Velvet Sundowns.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know why this popped in my head, but I can't wait for us to talk about this on the next podcast. But Channel 5, did you see what they just put out?
I did. How back? First off, did you know he bought the rights back to All Gas No Brakes?
I did see that. Yes. That's why he's been putting out some awesome shit.
Bad news for the Super Bowl interview. Let's hope that never sees the day of light. But
I've tried to find it.
I know you have.
I have tried to find it.
So has my deepest fear and insecurity.
If people don't know, Colton was interviewed by All Gas No Brakes at one point, but
catastrophic.
And I was in front of him when it was. They asked if I want to be in it. I went no, no. And then when Michael got interviewed, and that has not seen the light of day. So but it was super cool to chill with him afterwards.
Yeah, really cool guy.
Yeah, we had some beers. He had Luke offered him spaghetti. He's like, I have some leftover spaghetti. Dude's like, I will eat anything right now.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, Luke's like, are you hungry? I have leftover spaghetti. And he was like, literally, I'll eat that right now. And I asked him about his suit. I said, did you wear that? Have you always like worn that same suit? He goes, for sure. Never washed it. It smells awful.
That's something. Parting gift that night was COVID.
That night was COVID.
That was the first night I got COVID.
I'm surprised everybody did.
That was terrible. I mean, but shout out. Tampa won the Super Bowl, so like you can't not go hard in the paint.
I remember we went out to downtown St. Pete and nothing was happening. And I was like, this. And I told Chris, let's go to Tampa. Let's go figure what's going on.
Yeah, I just remember team winning, streaking into the pool, the balcony, getting interviewed, and I think hanging off a light pole.
I don't remember a light pole. I stayed pretty coherent most of that night. That was fun.
Yeah. What is the word I'm looking for? Allegedly. So, yeah, it was a beautiful night. And I think, show me when AI gets interviewed on All Gas No Brakes.
I mean, that might be.
I'm super excited to talk about that along with the Hunter Biden stuff. And by the time this comes out and we have another episode out, the state of affairs for the Epstein list to see.
We'll see. Also, what you did for your birthday.
Oh yeah.
Anyone don't know? Happy birthday! Because by the time this is out, it will have been your birthday.
Another year.
I can't wait for your present to arrive. It's gonna be great. We're shipping it out tomorrow. It's taken several days to put it together. So
it's a big Lego set. Give me 3 guesses. If I get it, you have to say yes. Fair?
Okay.
Does that count?
I'll give you 2 guesses.
Okay. Is it okay? So you put it together. It's not one of those like you pop out wood battleships or a ship in a bottle.
No.
I don't know. We'll find out.
You're gonna find out. I'm gonna ship it out tomorrow. I don't know. It might get to you by your birthday. It might not, but we'll see.
Cool. Yeah. I'll open it on my OnlyFans.
I hope you do.
Yeah.
It'll actually fit perfectly.
I don't want to know where it fits, but anyway, hey, if you made it this far, it does fit your subscription right inside that box.
Follow. Just brush up against it. You don't got to push it. You don't got to click it hard. Don't give yourself arthritis. Just a little tap.
If you're looking for consent, we're giving it. You can tap it. Hey, next week, we're back on track, and we have some guests coming up. Next couple of weeks, the forecast seems to be sunny, bright, with a chance of laid-back information. So if that's your flow, tune in. We'd love to pop up in your feed and follow along. Share this with someone that you know, like, trust, all that good stuff. Hey, we love you guys. See you next week. Peace.
Peace.